Welcome into the Furniss Fast Lane, everyone. This is the first time for those that don't know and you're not familiar with StreamYard. StreamYard has this new feature where the intro video plays automatically, but I wasn't really sure. So there was a brief moment of that like black screen. I was like, oh, everything just broke with the new feature, but it worked, Ben. I'm very, very excited to say
you did a good job. You stayed calm, which is the most important.
I'm like, that's the most important thing. Is you get our bright and smiley faces on a Friday. It is Friday. We have made it. We were off. We came on hot like the very first episode. Took a little bit of break. We're back at it, and so I couldn't be happier than speaking with you, Mr. Ben. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Look, even though the Yankees lost yesterday, I am doing, because I live in New York, doing fantastic.
That was definitely a rough one for me. Like I'm really, really superstitious. So when I was not watching the game, they were doing well, and then I walked away. I was taking care of some work stuff. And all hell broke loose and freaking Cleveland came back. I was like, what is going on? This is what I get for walking away, moving a half-inch one direction. And I apparently lost the game for all the Yankee fans. So I apologize on behalf of me and all of Yankee Nation. It was my fault. I apologize.
We forgive you. I mean, we're still up, so it's all right.
Yeah, I think they'll still come through. Like we were talking to a friend last night. I was like, man, could you imagine a Yankees Dodgers or Yankees Mets World Series? I mean, come on. I mean, we're doing something right in the world to have that type of potential World Series.
Yeah, for me, either one's great because Dodgers, like the whole history is pretty amazing, and
it really is. It really is. And Ian, I'm happy to report, buddy. You were the first to comment. I saw the comment coming early. I was like, you beat Peter, and so good afternoon to you, Ian. Peter, looking forward. I'm actually looking forward to this as well. Those that don't know Ben, you'll get to know him real quick, and your day will be better for meeting him. Ian. It should be interesting. That's the plan. I mean, educational, fun, have it go off the rails here real shortly. Russell, so good to see you, buddy. I don't know. Russell, I said this last time, but like you are now cemented in the intro video. Like the very last screen is you. So great to see you. And Jeff, as always, Jeff, it is your birthday every freaking day. So not only is it happy Friday, happy birthday 365 days of the year, buddy. Good to see you. And Paul's, oh man, Peter, you have no idea how much Tito's has been consumed over the last couple weeks. It's been a rough couple weeks. So yes, I apologize.
How do you drink your Tito's?
Oh, that's why I was joking, Ben. Like you don't know what's in this cup, but I will either do Tito's on the rocks with the lime or Tito's and soda with the lime.
Okay.
What about you? You're more of a wine drinker?
I'm a wine drinker and a tequila drinker.
Okay. So, what tequila?
All different kinds of tequila. It all depends, like what I'm going to do with it. But so I'm a big tequila drinker.
So I've got a little liquor wall over here. That makes it sound like an alcoholic. It's not. It's just like shelves. But there's only a few tequilas I'll drink. Claus Azul's one because that's amazing.
Because you're fancy. Because you're very fancy.
Well, a little bit, yes. I gotta have good stuff in the Addictivo, the black bottle one, Addictivo, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Oh, that stuff is like drinking freaking maple syrup. So that's probably why I like it as well. It's so tasty. So you don't have a go-to though. I
do not have a go-to. I mix it up. I probably have like 8 or 9 bottles. So it's one of those things. But I know a lot more about wines. Tequila, I just know what I like, right? So
okay.
I know when I want to drink an añejo. I know when I want to, so a blanco, what it's going to go with. But wine is something that I have more of a passion about. But I love that this entire show, this is all about the alcohol that we drink when we're not working.
We mix it up, Ben.
Because I think I could live on just cheese, meat, and wine. I was like, say, okay, you can have 3 things the rest of your life. All right, wine, cheese, and some, meats. I'm kind of happy.
So. I'm good with that. It's I was joking with a friend last night. I go, when I got back, I was a digital dealer and I had some other family stuff going on. So I get back to my apartment and it's full out. Like there's beer, there's High Noon, there's Tito's, and nothing else. Like normally there'd be like fruits and I'm a big fruit and vegetable person. I'm like, I look like I'm a bachelor. Like what is going on right now? I was like, at least I know I'm having a good time. Let's go with that, I guess. And I'm sure this is like not what you expected. Like, oh, we're gonna talk about recap the show. No, we're gonna talk about alcohol first, and then we'll eventually get in the show. So.
And if we did it like 4 hours from now, we could actually have had a happy hour together, right?
I have done on the show a couple of times where it was like New Year's Eve and stuff like that. So I was like, let's cheers it up, whatever. So we definitely have consumed alcohol on the show. It's not the first time, won't be the last time. I guarantee that. Larry, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. You're traveling back safely. Same to you, Ian. Right back at you, buddy. Oops. Oops, she did it again. Let's go with that. I love it. Thank you, Brooke. Thank you, Russell. Super appreciate it, buddy.
Brooke, did you have fun at Digital Dealer?
Yes, I did.
No, I was there too, but did you think it was a good show in general?
It was a different show than it's normally been, and I was in a completely different mindset. Like I had for those that were there, like thank you for your patience, understanding. There's a lot going on, so for me it was just different because of other stuff going on. So I didn't spend a lot of time in the hall. Like I spoke, I know I wanted to get to your session, that did not happen. So I didn't spend a lot of time in the hall. What about you?
You know what I found? Look, we have some of our dealers were there. That was great to be able to catch up and meet with them. But it was a lot more vendor. Like it was really about if you're looking to form partnerships and engage and see what your competitors and your frenemies and other businesses are doing. It was great for that. It wasn't the best this time to spend time with lots and lots of new dealers, but it was like always, it's a good show. And Vegas is one of those cities. 48 hours is more than enough.
Yes. Yeah. And normally I don't stay as long as I stayed, but there's extenuating circumstance. So I'm like, I had to extend. I was like, man, I've been in Vegas for so long. I just need a nap. I need to like rinse off Vegas for me. And my sister lives there. Like, I love Vegas. It's fun. But to your point, 48 hours, it's like New Orleans. And then I'm tapped out. Like I'm good. No more. So, and you said it very politically correct. So I applaud that. Yeah, it was definitely different in a lot of different ways. But when I met a few dealers, but overall it was just, forming those connections and solidifying those connections with the vendor partners out there. So, I mean, I've got a good friend that I was like, man, I didn't even know you were doing this. And so it was really great to see the new product that he had. I was like, man, I've already got a client that's like looking at it. So I'm like, I had no idea this was even out there. So for me, there's always, even if the ratio is off a vendor to dealer, there's always something you can find out of it, whether it's learning more about a product to help your clients or to further that relationship later on, because everyone turns over at some point. So no, it was, I agree. Like it was different, but it was still a very good one. So yeah. How'd your session go?
It went good.
Of course it did.
Yeah.
I knew that answer before I asked it. So they standed up, applaud. I mean, how can you go wrong? All right, Russell, can't wait to hear all the tidbits will be dropped today. I love the show. Russell, we love you. And Peter, what you said with the straw and priorities, yes, it's very much about priorities. So we have had a lot of fun so far. Let's just jump in this. We had a killer episode that dropped yesterday. And for those that don't know, I'm going to quickly recap here. Probably like 6 months ago, if not more, David Malone was on the show. It was still Total CX at that point. Call Review is now Total CX. Let's put it that way. Make it simple. And I got introduced to you through Dave, and I was just like blown away at the technology. And we started talking about this whole test track and what Call Review can do. And I had a friend that reached out yesterday and they're like, is it the same Call Review? I was like, no, this is so different and so much the improvements. Everything's positive of what it was, what Call Review was. We'll even go back a year ago. He's like, all right, so I'm like, yes, go check them out. Please go check them out. And so it's been interesting, the feedback, because of, everything changes and the technology that Total CX had that you all have now. And speaking of the test track and the AI and all that, but I want to first start with you of like, what was one of your main takeaways from the show that dropped yesterday?
So my biggest takeaway about the show that dropped yesterday is, look, AI is here, right? You got to figure out how you're going to use it. It's supposed to take away, do the tasks that we all don't want to do, and at the same time, give us insights faster. Look, it used to be just in the call tracking space, right? It used to be record the call, some group of people sitting somewhere in the world would type those transcripts, upload them into the system, create a summary, and a day, 2 days later, you're going to get what happened on the call, and maybe you could then improve to the point now where it's basically real time, and you can actually make changes on the fly. You can engage on the fly. You can give more information to the customer, makes you a better salesperson, makes you a better service agent. That's the part that gets you like really, really excited. Like, AI used the right way and responsibly is just an incredible tool, but it has to be done responsibly. Like, it's not about taking away humans. It's about getting me the information, getting me it quicker, getting me more data points. And then afterwards, taking those data points and getting smarter, knowing where calls are going, why are they being answered, what happens on those calls, can the manager jump in? It's just an exciting time using the technology.
Amen to that. We've got Chris saying, go Brooke, when I was behind the desk, I always found value in Call Review. It's up to the manager to follow through on the alerts too. Amen to that, Chris. Yep. Like, I actually was having a conversation with the dealership group earlier this week, and I said, okay, who's listening? You guys have this great tool set up now. What are you doing with it? Because if you just let it sit there and don't listen to anything, how are you going to actually improve? I worked for a dealership group at one point that to this day, I've never seen anybody do this. The owner of this big group listened to every single call, like every call, to his point. His wife's like, yeah, Saturdays and Sundays, all he does is listen to like 10 hours of calls like that. Kudos to you. Like, that's a lot of phone calls. But yeah, it is. And you guys do a great job with those lifetime. Let me go. Live alerts. There we go.
Live alerts. The deal
There we go.
alerts. Look, for us, the cool part is we've always been part of that in dealership. 16 years ago, started out of a dealership and we're auto specific. It's all we do is auto, give people the great tools. But what's come is now we're becoming this like 360 communication tools. Every call in and out, doesn't matter if it's service, doesn't matter where it is, you were getting that information, making you better. Acquired Total CX, not only because they were a competitor of ours in the call tracking, but they had the only auto-specific phone system. Now, look, there's great companies like Ring Central and Go to Connect and WebEx. All of them basically are phone systems, but they don't integrate the way we do with the call tracking because we're integrated with all of them. So now we were like, okay, let's take this great call tracking, embed it with this incredible phone system, state-of-the-art phone system. So a manager, a GM, a receptionist and a salesperson has all the data and all the information in one place. And then what happened, because we're 360 communications, is people were going like, how do we get better on the phone? And being 100% AI, our products are 100% AI, not partially AI. Then if you add, we created this product called Test Track because we saw this weakness in the space going, a physical trainer can come into a dealership, which is awesome. They motivate you. For the next 3 months, you do everything perfect, then you fall back into your way. Or when you hire someone new, you make them watch a lot of videos, read something, follow people around. But before you let them touch a customer or engage with a customer, what has we created like that Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 hour rule? Like, let me practice my 3 throws, or let me go into I call it a batting cage, right? An AI batting cage. You can't hit a curveball. I can't hit a fastball. We found out yesterday Cleveland can hit a fastball to win the game with a home run. But if you go into the batting cage and you practice with it, you either call the AI voice or the voice AI calls you, and you just constantly practice till you get good at setting up an appointment, dealing with a CSI issue, dealing with a reschedule. And then with our AI, because we're already summarizing it, we can sit there and go, hey, Brooke, you need to practice this. And Ben, you need to practice that. And we launched this fastest selling product that we've ever launched.
It's crazy.
Even pre-me. Been out for less than 30 days. And, the amount of customers that are using it is growing every day. And now we just launched this week that you don't even have to be a call review customer and you can have it standalone just because we think everyone should be able to practice.
I think we were talking about that offline, and I had said that yesterday in the walk and talk. I go, correct me if I'm wrong here, which is, and too often our industry is that nothing talks to each other. It's so insanely, the walled garden is just insane. Yep. And so now having a product that, hey, if you have ABC call tracking provider, you have XYZ, it doesn't matter. You can still bring this in. And once again, phone training is so important. I can't remember the stat you threw down about the number, like the monetary value of
Well, for every one form that's filled out on Google, I want information on your car, 4 phone calls. Think about it. Yeah. So still the phones are here. It's just a customer is more intelligent than they were 5 years ago. 5 years ago, they'd call and say, hey, do you have any Hondas? Like, what Hondas do you have in stock? Now they know which Hondas you have in stock. They know what your competitors have in stock. They know what the prices are. So they're calling. If they're calling, they're interested. So you better answer that call.
Yeah. And it's interesting. Like I had a group that recently implemented their call, click to call. And it was like the BDC, it was like Christmas for them. They're like, we got to do this. They're fighting over the phones. I was like, and that's great. It's just that phone call. And I'm curious in the comments for those that are watching live, and if you're watching it later on, how have your phone calls been? Have you seen, I want to say how many years ago, we saw like this massive decline in leads, and then just saw the increase in phone. I'm curious, those that are watching, are you seeing the same trend right now? I know October, it's been a bit of a difficult month, to say the least. We're in an election year. that's number one. That's probably the biggest thing. But everything is slowing down. So are you seeing the same thing in house, that our phone calls are still, we would prefer to have a phone up than an internet lead? Just curious. I mean, not all internet leads are created equal. I get that, but just curious, throw it in the comments here. And that was, like I said, that was just something so big to me, that we can have competitor products and said, still, I can get better on the phone to say, hey, Brooke is, saying 15 times, or she's pitching some whatever. And in fact, no one's actually wanting that. So why does she continue to pitch that? And that's also going to help you when you're in front of the customer.
And where do you practice? Because right now you have really three options before: practice in front of a mirror, right? Practice on a real customer, or practice with a colleague or your manager. And I don't know about everybody else. If I had a pitch to one of my colleagues, or if I had a boss to my boss, I feel ridiculous. It's not comfortable. It's not natural. They're just going to try to send me curveballs. I want to practice with someone, that on my own, that I can do. We still record them. We still transcribe them. We still give you your results. We let you know if you did the tasks. But you really need to do that. But I got a question for you, because you just said it, because I've only been in auto for like less than a year and a half and love the space. I'm drinking out of a fire hose. But an election year traditionally is like October through November. Is it a slow time to sell cars? What are people concerned? Like, are interest rates going to go up, or am I going to lose my, what's the rationale? Because
great question. So, and I'm like prepping my dealers beforehand. I'm like, okay, in August, let's talk about what we're going to do, because there are so many political ads out there. So let's say that you're spending, I'm just going to throw it out. Let's say you're spending $10,000 now in Google spend. To get that same bang for the buck, you've got to spend a ton more to get the same bang for the buck, because you're going against all these different other political campaigns that are going to spend a
marketing
lot
thing. So I can see. So when I'm watching television,
yes,
when I'm watching the Yankee game,
yes,
and I'm used to seeing like a Ray Katina commercial because I'm in that part of the country or something like that. Now they're competing because there's going to be an ad for one of the candidates, and they're going to pay more, so I lose the spot. Okay.
Yeah, and even like Google search term, same thing. The same thing with that. And then you're also seeing, unless the dealerships I'm seeing that are stagnant in a good way, or are actually increasing, is they're using Amazon ads, and it's a true Amazon partner. I'll just leave it at that. You all know who you are. And versus someone that doesn't know what they're doing, but because Amazon doesn't allow political ads, so you can continue to run your ads and your whatever and your streaming ads and not have political ads that you're fighting against. Additionally, there's always this like trepidation that like, oh, I don't know who's going to win. I don't know. I want person A versus person B. And so a lot of people will hold back buying a vehicle because of the uncertainty of what's going to happen on November 5th. Wow. So it's just, I have filled in more phone calls and very anxious communications this week. Like, oh my God, like where are our clients? Where are our customers? Like, take a breath. It happens every 4 years. We go through this whole thing, but it doesn't make it any easier, because you still have quotas to meet, and the OEM wants you to meet your incentives and everything in between. So yeah, it's really with any space, not just us, like any space. Were you in medical before?
I did a healthcare company before.
Healthcare. Yeah. So I don't know if you saw it there as well, but you would see it because you continue to fight with political ads.
Yep. Yeah. You're seeing it everywhere. And the world's could be different one way or another in less than 3 weeks. So I understand that.
Yes. And even like, I thought that, okay, it may not be as drastic. I don't know why I thought that. I've been doing this long enough that I should know better. But I was like, well, the interest rates dropped a little bit, but even still, it's like, but we got, coming in late. Pete, love you, buddy. Good to see you, buddy. And Tim, I saw you there, bud. Good to see you. It's been a minute. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, you're seeing this, I thought with the lowering of interest rates that things would get a little bit better, but it's just at that time, if the interest rates had lowered like they just did, let's say 2 months ago, I think it would have been different. And my belief system would be a little different, but now you're 3 weeks away from 50% of the country not being happy. Let's leave it at that.
Which is they need retail therapy after that. Yes. And let's go buy cars like that.
I have a good solution for you. We have this great vehicle and it's got great incentives right now. So well, it's funny. My lease is up here in January. And so I've been talking with the owner. It's like, hey, maybe it's a good time to pull me out of my lease just a little early. I'm way under my miles. Could live in the cities. I don't put a lot of miles on my car. I was like, the way it's going right now, it might be better to do it now than later, because October is super, super slow. Okay, so we've talked about you guys being product agnostic, and more or less, I'm going to call it that with Test Track.
Yep.
AI is so important. What's another takeaway that you saw from the show?
So that there's going to be continued be more innovation. Like, don't be scared of the technology. Like, it's here. Embrace it. It allows you. I think it also allows you to be more customized than you were before. Like, you might not look at it that way, but with the technology, let's just use AI for an example. It allows me to get more of the information that affects me. And no two dealerships are exactly alike. No two sales forces are exactly alike. No two service teams are exactly alike. Use it. Like, ask the questions. How can I effectively, what am I trying to accomplish?
Yeah, and we had talked about this as well. Like, and this is something that I know I preach heavily. Tool can be as great as the great people and process in place, or doesn't integrate, then why are you spending money on it? So taking that, if you're new to AI, I was talking with a person a couple weeks ago, and they go, I just don't understand what this big push on AI. I was like, why is that? And so I explained, like, hey, it's here. It's not going anywhere. It's just going to get more AI. It's not going to replace humans. There's certain mundane tasks that none of us want to complete. Like, the amount of stuff that I do that I'm like, I would have to hire a second person just for the grunt work the AI does for me. I'm so grateful for it, but making everything more streamlined. But if you throw an AI tool into your system without completely thinking about the people and process and technology, you've got a problem. Figure out where you can go, and don't just start putting band-aids on bullet holes and cannonball holes thinking it's going to fix something if the issue is in house or it's not going to integrate. But please take the time to say, hey, this AI, is it true AI? Is it if then what AI? How can we customize this? All those different questions to ask. And if you are unaware of what question to ask, you can always we've got two great people on the screen right now that can help that and go through that. We've got Micah.
Micah made a great
Yes,
point, right?
yes.
It's not going to, we said in the beginning, it's not going to take your job. It's to enhance it. Also, you've got to understand, like, AI isn't just everyone says they're AI now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what does the AI mean? What is, like you said, is it more about prompting? Is it more about engagement? How are you using the AI? Ask the questions. And then here's the other thing, demo it. Like,
Oh,
if I'm
gosh,
a
yes.
dealer out there, like, show it to me. Don't let me just show you slides. Don't let me show you pamphlets. Don't let me show you a little video. Get online, either in person. On person is best, but even if it's through a Zoom, like, show me how it works.
Mhm.
Engage with me. If you're not willing to test it in front of me and show me how it works, my guess is it's really not going to work, or it's going to be so hard to install or so hard to, combine. And the other thing is, ask those questions. Does it integrate? Like, are you going to use a company and it doesn't integrate with my CRM? Why would you use just using calls? Why would you use a call tracking company that doesn't integrate into your CRM? Like, makes no sense. All the data's got to end up going in one place. They have to talk to each other, but ask those questions. Like,
Amen. And oddly enough, and Micah, I saw you here, buddy. Amazon is a solid option. More people, man, Micah, I've been preaching the Amazon thing for a while. It is crazy how many people aren't on it. And just like before I go into your comment there, Ben, is that for anyone that doesn't know, Dealer Process had like a little summit thing, whatever. And Gino threw out a stat saying, I'm going to screw this up, but in Chicagoland area of, I think it was like Toyota for sale near me, or Toyota, something like that. And you would think there's going to be like thousands and thousands of, that's kind of a massive term. It was like less than 1,000 people were searching that term. And so you think about, you're spending all this money on Google ads. I'm not saying just do not go away from Google ads. It has its place, but understand if just a small fraction of people are searching that, where are you capturing everything else? Like, that's where Amazon's going to come and play, because now you have someone that's in market. But a lot of times with Google ads, is that you're searching, you're not going for people that are in market. You're just grabbing someone that happens to click on, throwing this massive wide net and hoping to catch somebody, when you can actually get someone that's in market, ready to shop. They're looking at stuff right now. So yeah, Mike, I'm a huge proponent of that. And to your point earlier there, Ben, I was demoing a product at an AI, we'll just call it an AI product. And everyone I demoed prior to then, I'm really big on, let's find a way to break it, because it'll break. And so I started asking questions that I normally would ask, and it's broken all the other times. And I was really surprised. It came back and it's like, nope. And those guardrails were in place, and it was also smart enough and learning fast enough to know that I can't answer X, Y, and Z. We all know the story. I'm trying to sell a freaking, I think it was a bourbon or something like that for a penny on a chat tool.
Yep.
So understand, ask those questions, try to break it. You probably will if you're smart enough. But how can I do that to know, is it going to work best for me? Is this going to put me in a place of liability, which
Right.
you don't want? But ask those questions and don't be afraid of AI. It is here to stay, and it's only going to get stronger. Only going to get stronger.
Agreed.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Like, I think those are the main takeaways of, hey, you've got this test track product, which I was just right now, I'm still surprised, like in a good way. Like, hey, you can use this with anything. AI is there.
Yep.
And when you threw down, it was the fastest product you've sold. Like that just, hello. I mean, AI's here, man.
It also makes sense. It's one of those like also, it doesn't matter what level of a salesperson you are or what person of account manager you are. We all get it. Oh, I understand the analogy. We need to get better on phones. Where do I practice? How do I do it? How do I need to work on something different than Brooke needs to work on? That's what it's about. We're going to make you better on the phones with this product, but you still need to be able to use it and use the data. And no two dealers are alike. So our next feature that we're adding before the end of the year is the dealerships get to make their own scenarios.
Oh.
So you might want to do something this way and you want to train them this way. Give us that scenario. We'll load it into our AI and our ML, and we'll call them custom test tracks for you. And they can be made in less than 30 minutes. And that to me is like, awesome. And it becomes your IP. So it's not like we'll take your custom test track and offer it to others. You own that data. You own that information, not to be shared, because no two dealers are alike. There's certain things that everyone has to do.
Yeah.
Greet a customer, schedule change, reschedule an appointment that was canceled. Those are all the basics, but let's learn what you're looking for.
And it's funny you bring that up about it being yours, like the dealerships. A product was demoed to me, and before I go to Micah, you're right. It's actually freaking awesome, and that's Brooke being PG there. It's a very rare that I don't throw a Brooke word down there, but yes, it is awesome there, buddy. I'm demoing this product about this new greatest blah blah blah. And there was definitely AI involved, and I'm going through it, and there are on this company's demo page, they've brought in actual dealership information. Like it says the dealership's name on there. I was like, oh my god, I'm pretty sure if I'm ABC dealer, I am not okay with the fact that you're showing my stuff. I'm hoping they signed off on it. Otherwise, everyone in the nation that's looking at this is now seeing that. And Micah, years of phone skill training, all taught the same process. Love this ability to make it your own. It is, Micah. And the thing, like so many things about this, like knowing, hey, how can I better, because having someone's there, that's great. And you can listen to the phone calls. Hey, here's a teaching moment. Here's an area of opportunity. But now I'm able to, I think I told the story of when I first got in the auto industry, I just practiced like crazy my pitch on how to demo, blah, 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 blah. And as fun as that was on a Friday night and Saturday night and Sunday night to do these things, how nice would it have been to have in my comfort of my own whatever, to be able to go back and be like, oh, I screwed up. Now I'm ready to practice in front of somebody.
Yeah. On your phone, on your computer, doesn't matter where you are. It's just one of those things that we all need to get better at.
Agreed.
All the time. And but it's also exciting time, right? And then the other thing, because you brought it up, data. I mean, this has nothing just to do with our product, is dealership. You own your data.
You should
use the data. And again, not data for data's sake, but understand, like, what are you trying to figure out? The information's in there in the calls. The information's in there in the summaries. How do I want to pull that out and use it? You own it, and you shouldn't be charged for that. It belongs to you.
Ben, that is a bit of a hot button with me. I'm constantly battling. I'm like, it's your data. Like, why does it take like 10 years to extract the data that's mine? But you're going to charge a fee for that. Like, that makes absolutely no sense. So we look at all this, this is going to go on a whole other topic here, but the first party data situation, it's like, man, that you have so much at your fingertips. How do you utilize them? And this is one of the things we talked about at Digital Dealer. I just go, how are you utilizing this? How are you taking that and making it into an actionable item that you can actually do something with it, versus, oh, well, company ABC says I can't have it, or because it's too large of a file, it's going to take 2 weeks for me to get it. Well, then you got a DMS and a CRM that don't even talk to each other, and there's no push-pull integration. Why not partner with someone that has that push-pull integration? Because the fee's going to get passed on regardless, but why not just cut out the middleman and have the data yourself? Like we will do an entire show just on this. I guarantee it.
I would love, look, in healthcare, it used to be like you'd get blood work and you didn't have the rights to see your blood work. And then all of a sudden they put a ruling and said, no, it's your blood work. You're allowed, Mr. Doctor, you don't own my blood work. I own my blood work. It has to come out of the EMR and you can get it. So same thing with every piece of data that's coming in, whoever your vendor is, you own it. You can't take that data and resell it and reuse what the company what the third party created, but your individual data belongs to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there are definitely companies that are 100% doing what you just said. Like, I'm so tired. I'm like, oh, so wait, you're taking the customer data that they signed some agreement. They didn't know they're giving up their first unborn child. Oh, by the way, we're going to sell your data. Like, what are we doing here?
Are you charging me you mean you're going to charge me $200 to integrate my data per dealerships into this CRM or DMS? No, it's your data.
Well, and going back to the healthcare, like at this point, it's a big joke with my doctors. Like I live in Chicago, so Rush Orthopedics, I pretty much have donated my own surgeries to pay for like half, but like probably at the West Wing of Rush Orthopedics. So I go in for, I don't know, MRI, something I tore or broke or ruptured. And I just wanted to get the disc of the scans. My background before I got in auto was also medical. And so I was like, hey, I just want to look this through before you guys, I know it's going to take you 24, 72 hours before I get a result. I might as well look at it and see what's going on. And then they passed on a cost to me to get my results. I was like, wait, but it's my results. Like, this is my body. And you're asking, I got to pay to get the results? Like, what are we, really? But yeah, it happens in every industry. Just make sure that you, once again, are partner with people that regardless what it is, what technology service, that you do in fact own that data.
A few questions you got to ask.
Yeah.
And look, they might say, no, you don't. And you still want to use it, which is fine. But at least know it. Full disclosure going in. Here's what's going to happen. That's the most important thing.
Agreed. Ben, I think we've covered everything. Is there anything we missed about this last episode? Anything else you want to say? And
no, I just
wonderful Friday.
Loved being on your podcast. I've listened to lots of episodes. You do a great job. And now I know you like Tito's. Right? And so
I do.
In this episode, I learned that you like Tito's, and now knowing that, I want to be invited back when you do that happy hour episode. You know.
Well, next episode, next time you're on here, we'll 100% we'll be drinking Tito's and either your tequila or your wine, whatever beverage of choice. It's all good.
Perfect. And I'll see you soon in Florida.
Yes. We'll be out there in MRC. And for those that we got MRC around the corner here, we'll be doing more we'll be live streaming from the conference. We'll do some advertising, make sure everyone that wants to be can be a part of the show and all that. With that, everyone, you all know the drill at this point is to find a way to serve today, find a way to just be the joy in somebody's life. I don't care. It's a kind smile, can be opening a door. Just do something to better someone's life today. And Ben, thank you so much to you and the Call Review team, everyone there. You guys are doing an incredible job. So just thank you for everything you do.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. With that, everyone, we'll see everybody next week.